Impossible.
So I'm Bart Rademacher, and this is Transformational Art at Burning Man. And totally excited. We've got the screens in the background, just acknowledging our presence and what's coming up on this show. And what's so amazing about what I get to do, and in fact, what we all get to do, is we get to connect with these amazing individuals. And there's three of them here today, myself not included, of course, that have this imagination and have the inspiration and the creative vision to create something that we then can participate in, enjoy, and really expand our imagination, expand our minds so that we can embrace our world in a much better way. And more so is that as we open these neural channels within us, then our connection with other people is even much more magnificent. And so I'm really excited to hear, what this group, the Infinity Gather, what unique thing they're bringing to the play, because it truly is unique, and as it totally resonates with the whole concept of this year's theme at Burning Man. So guys, I want to welcome all of you, including the baby. So Michael, please start off and tell us a little bit about what the Chapel of the Chimes is all about, your history of bringing together. And then I'm going to invite, Matthew and Jessica as well to contribute a little bit about their side. And I'm going to ask Jessica, if you can mute you, that would be awesome.
I can't find the way to mute on this
browser. Okay, well, don't worry about it.
I'm sorry.
So,
if there's a way that you can do that for me, then I would welcome you to.
Well, I might be able to do that, and yes, I can. There you go. You're muted. Awesome. I haven't done that before. So, Michael, please share with us, what's the inspiration behind what you're doing, and, what is it that we get to experience when we're at the playa?
So, hi, I'm Michael, and thank you for hosting us and sharing this evening with us. Afternoon, in the case of Matthew, who's on the West Coast. We are creating something out of other parts, a sacred space created out of other sacred spaces. I have been going to Burning Man since 2008 and have been deeply moved and transformed through the experience, but one experience in particular that has always struck me was the temple and the intention and the reverence and the openness that it has for the community in a way that just has always moved me. And so that has inspired me. And since 2011, I've been leading temple projects here on the East Coast. And I really have been wanting to give back to the Burning Man community in the desert specifically. And I believe that this project that we're doing comes full circle in a way that I find quite beautiful. The Chapel of the Chimes is being created out of other temples that have existed and been public facing and accessible by all. And that is really important to me, like creating levels of access that we break the bubble that is Burning Man, as beautiful as it is, but when we take those things back to our region, that we experience and inspire us. And this, I find, not only are we often get to take the things home, but this is like returning back to Burning Man with this knowledge and this intention. And I'm so honored to lead this amazing crew on our journey.
Well, thank you for that. And I like what you said earlier on about reimagining, parts from the past. And oftentimes, in this distracted world that we live in, with way too much technology confounding our brains, the cool thing that you guys are doing is you're bringing other parts, other elements that have great meaning, and in a deeper sense as well. I mean, it's the energy of all of that's happening in the past, and you're bringing the past towards the present. How cool is that?
I am. I feel really blessed to be doing this. Some of the pieces are behind me. You can see they have, like in this region, there's like writing on them, and they were built with this intention of holding other people's suffering and hope and grief and joy. And we are bringing that to Burning Man, which is normally where um, people go to have that experience. And in the case of what's behind me, for Catharsis on the Mall, we are only allowed to burn a certain size. And it is, I find it to be really moving to actually get a chance to take those prayers and intentions that other people gave us and fulfill their like that intention and bring them to their final resting place in Blackland. So.
I'm actually getting a little teary-eyed as you're saying that. I mean, that's an amazing thing, and which really leads me to ask you this question, because I'm not so sure everybody really understands or appreciates, the whole concept of the temple. And you've been at Burning Man for the last 12 years, and so I'd love to hear your perception, your experience. How do you define that temple?
What the temple means to me, goodness. I grew up moving a lot and not really having like a home base or a place that one could just rely on and call home. I had family that lived here in the States, in New York, but I only got to see them once every 3 years, and so that was beautiful, but not as grounding. And my dad was in the military, and we had to move. I never lived in the same four walls for more than 2 years. So letting go was something that like I didn't have. It was second nature in a way. And when I experienced the temple, and the intention of the structure was to give other people a chance and space to let go, it was really amazing and moving. And the effort and the communal effort and the energy and the artistry and the hard work and all these components coming together and burning it at the end, right? Not just, I think about the effigy as it's celebratory in a way. It's like, to me, it's really about immediacy. It's like right now we're living the best moment we can. And not to say that it's not cathartic. However, I think the temple's intention of holding that which might hold us back or slow us down, and in this act of transcribing our messages and leaving our photos and our keepsakes and communally burning those, it's just moving. And I still recall like the first time, it gives me chills, sitting around a temple fire with 30,000 of my closest new friends in near silence, and just hearing the flames and everyone in that reflective space kind of together. I don't know, just gave me hope.
I love it, and thank you for sharing it that way, because I think there's so much reverence and honor, to our loved ones, that we can open that space, but also realize and recognize that life does go on, and it is immediate, it is now, and we need to move on. But we're just honoring them in such a beautiful way. And my new experience this year is that I'm going to spend more time at the temple, which I haven't done the last couple of years, and really get the essence of what you're describing. Last year I was too busy, photographing everything, because I was really excited about these interviews. And but talking about all the hard work, and I want to ask Matthew this question. Talking about all the hard work, and the thing that's so amazing, about the art installations and you artists and the community artists and craftsmen and architects and visionaries, is the immense amount of work and collaboration that happens. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, because that's really a testament of humanity, how humanity can work together, collaborate, and create some amazing magic. So So Matthew, just share with us your perspective, because I know your role is important as one of the project managers.
Hey everyone. So I met Michael in 2016 building the temple at Burning Man. And I think the common thread amongst all the builders here is that we all have been touched by the temple in one way or another. We've got people on the team that, for instance, were builders of the temple. We have others that were the guardians of the temple. And there's also those that were touched by the temple in other means, whether they were celebrating a death or a birth or something else. When we were building the temple in 2016, I met Michael. He showed up one day as walk-on help, and he told me a little about what he does. He said, "Oh, I build temples, I build effigies." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says he's been doing it for many, many years. And when we left Burning Man and burned the whole thing down, I came back home and got in contact with him and saw that he's built 10, 15 different effigies and temples for the East Coast. And he inspired me actually to begin attending Burning Man regionals. And so a lot of us go to Burning Man and celebrate out there, but there's actually an entire regional network where Burning Man can go on year round in your local town in different environments. And so I discovered a Burning Man in my area, which is on Screws, which is in the Santa Cruz area, and went as a participant the first year and noticed there's no temple. I said, there's a lack of a sacred space here. And so back in 2017, I talked to Michael, learned a little bit about how he constructed and assembled a crew, did it myself, learned a lot. It was hard work, but some of the people that I met out there, we became friends. And through this shared experience of constructing the space, you create these really strong bonds. And so we came back again next year, and the crew doubled, maybe even tripled in size. And it really reflected in the quality of the art. I've been urging Michael to bring up Project Supply for a few years now, and this is going to be it for him. A lot of the members of the crew have built on Playa before, and we are going to be bringing our experience of working on the temple and on other pieces of art on Playa to make sure that Michael's successful. And so my role is the project manager. I'm bringing on the crew that I feel will give him the support to be successful on building this really cool two-story fusion art piece. I think the story behind Chapel of Chimes is really going to be that this is representative of several regionals. What I mean by that is there's going to be the Transformational regional crew, which is in West Virginia. You have the Catharsis crew, which is in Washington, D.C. You have the Unscrews crew, which is in Santa Cruz, California. We even have a non-Burning Man art festival that occurs in Toronto. And so we have that crew coming in. And we have members flying in from Taiwan, from London. And so there's an international community of people that have all been touched by the temple. That's our baseline. And from there, we're building up and say, what can we create together next? And so we have this wonderful crew under the umbrella of Infinity Gathered. I'll be building on Playa this year at Burning Man.
That's awesome. What a beautiful thing that you're doing. And like I said, bringing all these different people together and working in harmony and creating this magnificence. And so I do have a question for you, Matthew. I mean, what do you feel, and this is a question that I'm hoping other newbies, if you will, bring, installations to Burning Man get to hear, because it's not an easy thing. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of incredible challenges, obstacles, you name it, and also extreme weather conditions. So what are some of the things that, if you were advising some other artists, what are some of the things that you're watching out for as you come up to this Burning Man?
Well, I'd say first go to Burning Man and walk up to a project and say, do you guys need help? You really will learn a lot by doing. And so you'll not only learn how to hold a hammer, or maybe you already know how to hold a hammer, how to work in 70-mile-per-hour winds, the dust storm, where everything's falling apart around you. You'll also make the connection to those other experts around you. So what's really great about Burning Man is it's sort of a collective of people that like to do things and make things. And we're kind of crazy, but there's a lot of skill sharing that happens there. So you can learn if you are a programmer, or if you are an artist, or if you don't do any of those things, but you want to learn those skills, you can pick up simply by helping out another project. So talk about what your vision is, see who else is interested, and it'll grow from there.
Nice. Well, that's great advice. So I'm going to go down to Jessica, and we're going to invite our little baby to join in, to chime in, obviously, right? So I know what's important for you, and that's the ceremonial part and the sacredness. And so also some other things that are very relevant. So share with us, what you're focusing on and what you want people to know about the installation.
Thank you so much for having me. I think that one of the things that really sets this project apart from many others that go to Playa is the absolute accessibility in the project having touched so many corners of our world. Not only were pieces of this project in the Renwick Gallery, where international travelers who visited DC got to touch and put their own prayers and wishes on actual wood that will burn. But we've been at 2 different Catharsis on the Mall celebrations and gotten to, as Michael said, collect the prayers from so many different people there who were writing on these relics that did not get to burn because of the size regulations. So not only are we intersecting people across countries and cultures in Black Rock City in the assembling of this project, but we're also carrying the burdens of hundreds of thousands of people to Black Rock City so we can finally release their wishes into prayer. And I do think that there is something so incredibly, immeasurably powerful in that, in these people having contributed to the project. They may not even know that it's burning at the moment that it burns. And I wonder if, like a spark of light, it'll just come to them, this moment of release or lightness that hits them in their day when we do ignite this structure and finally release these things.
You're just giving me goosebumps just thinking of that power of this collective of 100,000 people. I mean, how amazing is that? And when more of us can embrace that, and quite frankly, that has a ripple effect on others. So that's amazing what you're doing. So as we're wrapping it up, Jessica, what's your last word that you want to share, with everyone else? Is there something else that you think is really important that you want to share?
I guess the thing that I think is the most important is giving people the opportunity to be included. Radical inclusion is a principle of Burning Man. And so whether people are wanting to get included before the project goes to Playa, we are building here in DC, and we are at a place that people can come and get their hands on the project before we actually ship out to Playa. And then if people are wanting to join us on Playa, as Matthew was saying, we're building a huge, phenomenal team. You don't have to be a master artisan to join us. We welcome people who are new to construction, people who are skilled in construction, people who are passionate about other forms of art that they feel could contribute to our form of art as well, such as photo, video, things of that nature. And thank you so much for having us here, because this is a form of art that is really greatly contributing to our project as well. So if you want to get included, if you feel called to be included, even if you just want to send a letter with a postcard and a prayer on it for us to burn in the fire for you, then please reach out and we will facilitate your request.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. So let's make sure we have all the right links, so that people can connect with that. And, also I'm hoping you have some sort of crowdfunding, strategy going on, because I know these things are really expensive. And quite frankly, and as I say in all my interviews, is that, you artists, you give us a wonderful gift, and it takes a lot of time and effort and funds. And so I feel it's our responsibility to support you guys as well. And that's also my shout out to everyone else listening. Please support the artists, support them today, and so that they can make
get team swag.
There you go. Okay. So Jessica, thank you. Matthew, what are your last words of wisdom that you want to share?
If you're on the East Coast and you want to go to Burning Man a little bit early, check out the Transformational Regional in West Virginia. That's where we'll be. We'll be building there. So part of the crew will be on site over there. So those members in California will be traveling across the country over the next few weeks to build the effigy. Also, if you want to visit us on Playa, locate the Chimes camp. It will be listed on the who, what, where.
Awesome. So thank you for that, Matthew, and of course, Michael. Just give us that sense once again of what your project is all about and what we get to look forward to.
Thank you, first of all, for having us. And I thank Matthew and Jessica for being here and telling their part of the story. While this artwork that we're building will be absolutely beautiful, this merging of old, and we're building new things for the chapel just for Burning Man. So it's not just recycled and upcycled. It is like a merging of old and new, and bringing things that have been touched by, like Jessica said, not even exaggerating, like hundreds of thousands of people. They're bringing those prayers home, and the for me, it the synchronicity of it, like the being called to bring it this year, and the idea that we are taking this caterpillar and we're metamorphosing it to this butterfly for Burning Man, um, and it is so much more than the sum of its parts, and there is such beauty in that, and I just am feeling really grateful, and it will be a spectacular burn. We're going to be burning we're requesting to burn after the man, at around 2 a.m. And we invite everyone to come for that burn. And if, as Matthew and Jessica said, I just want to echo it because it is really important. The object's important, but the team trumps all of that. And so if you want to be involved on the team, we have infinitygather.com. You can fill out a contact. And if you want to invest and you believe in our project and you want to see it make its way home, we are using the fundraiser platform, and we'll put some links in the posting if possible. And we can't do it without your help. And this partnership with the Smithsonian and this partnership with so many regionals and regional networks, I think that its growth is part of what Burning Man is about. So it's really beautiful, and I'm grateful to have this chance to bring this piece home. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and on behalf of all the burners, I thank you guys for this beautiful work, and so Jessica, Matthew, Michael, love you guys. Thank you. And I am Bart Rademacher, Transformational Art at Burning Man. I'll be back very soon.
Yeah.
And let's help them. Let's get this magnificence out there with our support. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bart.
Thank you.